artistic director here at Vintage Theater, and welcome to episode 2 of Bernie at the Bar. With me today is director Troy Lakey, who is our director for the production The Legend of Georgia McBride, which opens this Friday in just 2 days.
Exciting.
How are you feeling 2 days from opening night?
It's exciting. I'm a little nervous, but I know people are going to love the show. And the cast has put in so much work, and the crew and the designers, so it's going to be an amazing experience.
You know, we hear from a lot of actors that they will get nervous for an opening night, but I don't think a lot of people hear about directors also getting nervous. What do you as a director get nervous about?
Just wanting to make sure that everything goes as planned and the actors have a great experience. But I will tell you that I have been dreaming about this show for probably a week now, every night, that I'm like reliving the show.
Literally having dreams at night.
At night about the show, what's happening. Taylor Swift showed up in my dream the other night. She was part of the
She's
show.
everywhere else, so why not?
Exactly. But it is something I'm constantly thinking about.
Yeah.
And ideas while I'm driving. I was listening to the songs we picked. I had a playlist I listened to in my car all the time. So I don't say I'm nervous that the audience is going to like it, because I know they will. I just want to make sure everything goes smoothly for the actors and it comes off exactly as they want it.
As a director, isn't it true that as a director you feel protective of them?
Yes.
And
it's like a father being a dad.
You want the kids to be okay.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Absolutely. Well, tell the folks at home a little bit about yourself. Some of them will have seen you on our stages, so maybe let them know what some of the vintage productions you've been involved in and that sort of thing.
Well, most recently, I had the opportunity to be assistant director with you for The Inheritance,
What an amazing experience.
An amazing experience, amazing cast, wonderful story. And the great thing with The Legend of Georgia McBride, it's the same playwright. So Matthew Lopez, who did The Inheritance, also did this, which was one of the things that drew me to the show as well.
Yeah. And he's such a brilliant playwright, I think. And what's so funny is that the Georgia McBride is so much more of a comedy.
Yes.
You know, with a definite heart to it, but it is a very, very funny show.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, there's moments of sadness, but in those moments of sadness and heartbreak, there's a lot of fun elements that get inserted, and then it is a happy ending show. So it's great.
Don't we love a happy ending?
Oh, yes.
Right? Well, tell me what else you love about this show.
One of the things that I love about the show is that it's, being a member of the LGBTQ community myself, that it's the combination of the queer community and the straight community and how they can build relationships together.
Okay.
And that family that is created when we have the main character, Casey, who is straight and married, makes a very strong connection with Miss Tracy Mills, who becomes his drag mother.
That's right.
And just their relationship, and then it's about self-acceptance. It's about acceptance within a relationship. And so Casey's wife and her journey with Casey as she discovers that he's doing drag.
Right.
So I think it's about love, acceptance, and then of course glitter and drag and fun songs that I hope the audience will want to stand up and shout and scream, and in good ways, of course, and dance.
What's this show about? Glitter! Glitter! So I asked you to tell them about yourselves, and then we totally moved on to something else. So let's get back to that. Tell the folks something about yourself and how they might have seen you before.
You may have seen me in Boys in the Band, which I got to work with you on that.
That's right.
And that was an amazing show.
What was that, 2018?
Yeah, I'm like, that's like 5 years ago.
Yeah. Doesn't feel like that.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
And then also I was in Shakespeare in Love, and I got to do Shakespearean drag in that, because I played Ralph, who was the nurse in the play of Romeo and Juliet. So that was a lot of fun. And I've been very actively involved in the new play festival here too. So I've directed a couple and acted in a few and been on the play reading committee.
I was going to say, you've been a reader too. You've read a lot of those plays.
I have read a lot of plays.
For folks that don't know, several readers read each of those plays that are submitted for the new play festival, and it's a huge job.
Yes.
Lorraine Scott, who's on our board, does just an amazing job of organizing that entire huge project. So yeah, that's great. And so this is your first time directing at Vintage.
Yes.
What brought you to apply to direct this show?
Yeah.
Because as I remember, you were very clear
Yes.
that you wanted to direct this production.
Yes. So I had the wonderful opportunity, I think it was about 10 years ago, seeing the original production here in Denver.
Mm-hmm.
It was part of the New Play Festival at Denver Center.
Oh, it was part of the New Play Festival.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And so that was in, I think, 2013. And then in 2014, it was on the main stage.
Mm-hmm.
And so I saw it twice. I saw it the first time and loved it so much, I went back again.
Right.
And it's always had this special place in my heart. When I saw that was going to be on the season, I was super excited.
Yeah.
But then the other part of me is being a gay man, that this is a story that is important, especially right now with all of the legislation that is happening against our trans community, specifically against drag queens, that people are scared of drag queens and what they could do. Right. But the drag queens are courageous and creative artists that are just full of love. Mm-hmm. Sometimes there's a sharp wit in there, but you know, the drag queen story time and drag shows, it's just a wonderful expression of art and heart and community. Right. And so I think that was something else that really resonated with me, that I wanted to be part of that, to make sure that story was told. And then was super excited that Vintage was going to do the show, and being able to connect with the members of the drag community here in Denver and try to get them connected and involved. Right. And one of our actors in the show is a working drag queen here in town, Shirley Delta Blow, also known as Stuart Sanks. I've had the opportunity to work with him as Shirley. With my employer, we did an employee resource group virtual drag show, and I had
a virtual
drag show.
Okay.
And it was a great opportunity for people to be exposed to drag for the first time. Right. And that's another thing I was thinking about with the show, is that this may be some of the Vintage audience's first opportunity to see a drag show.
How fabulous it is.
It is, and they get to see what it takes, the behind the scenes of being a drag queen, the costumes, the makeup, the pain that they go through,
the work that goes into it,
the wigs and the glitter and the costumes. I mean, it's a drag is not for sissies, is
right?
A line
as
from
they
the show.
say in the show.
Yes.
So obviously, it sounds like people will have a great time.
I hope so.
Coming to see this show. Is there? What else do you hope that folks might take away from this production?
I think acceptance is a big piece of accepting those that are different from you, and we should celebrate those differences. Sure. That self-acceptance, accept that inner queen within yourself, that a straight man can be in touch with their feminine side, and that can make them a better man. Mm-hmm. And so I think it's those kind of journeys that we get to see within Casey throughout the show, who goes from an Elvis impersonator to a drag queen superstar.
And having seen him, he's actually a very good Elvis impersonator.
He is. He is. Matthew Combs plays Casey, and he is a quadruple threat. Yeah. He sings, he dances, he acts, and he can lip sync and work some heels. Yep. So he's pretty amazing.
And he's playing the guitar.
Yes.
I mean,
he really sings in the show as well as does some amazing lip sync.
Yeah. That's amazing.
So they'll get to see his journey of being a bad drag queen to becoming a drag queen superstar. Yeah.
So tell me about the rehearsal process. What has that been like for you as a director? There's a lot of moving parts in the show. Oh. There's a ton of costumes. The script, doesn't really do you any favors because there's several locations we have to go to in the script. But Ryan has done a beautiful job.
Wonderful.
With the set design. The set's gorgeous.
Yes.
So what's the process been like for you?
Yeah. So I reached out to Ryan. So I know Ryan. We actually work at the same company. Yeah. And I begged him. I said, please come be the designer for the show. Right. And so we talked about the show. And he made a request that if he does it, he wants us to incorporate a certain female girl group into the show. So I accommodated his request happily. I was thinking about it anyway.
And is that in like the sound design or?
It's in the finale number. So I'm not going to give away what girl group it is, but come see the show to find out.
There's a big finale at the end of the show for folks that don't know that is just amazing.
So as you mentioned, the set, we see the apartment that Joe and Casey live in, and we see the backstage of Cleo's bar, and then we see the fabulous backstage after the drag queens take over. Right. And so we've got this wonderful rotating set that is amazing. So that's a lot of fun. The costumes in the show, I mean, that is like characters 8 through 25 in the show, because I think both Casey and Miss Tracy have about 10 to 12 costume changes each. Right. Yeah. And the other characters all have costume changes. We have 24 plus wigs within the show. So it's a lot. Yeah. The other fun process with the show was picking the songs. So as you mentioned in the script, it just says, music medley showing the growth of Casey from being a bad drag queen to a superstar.
Right.
And so
how do you create, how do you, yes.
What songs do we pick? What do I think that Casey would pick?
Yeah, but how much fun is that as a director to be like, okay, I get to really kind of shape this.
Yes. And so I did put my foot down that I had to have my diva of
Yes.
choice, at least one song, and that was Cher.
Great.
So we got Cher in
Always
here
need
because
some
that's
Cher, yes.
you need some Cher. But then it was, what are some of the other songs that we could pull in? And then got some feedback from the actors, from Stuart and Matthew.
Yeah.
What works for them? Jonathan, my assistant director, had some great thoughts. And so it's kind of like picking a baby's name. You have the list and we'd cross things off and add things onto it until we finally narrowed it down. Right. And then it was a matter of choreography. So we had nights of just choreography and lip sync.
And so Jonathan did the choreography.
Jonathan is our choreographer.
The assistant director,
Yep. And
who was also amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
that's
got
kind of a dream team in terms of your designers and your production team. Your stage manager is amazing. I mean, everybody on this show was just at the top of their game.
Yes. And I handpicked a few of them. Part of me, I wanted to incorporate as many LGBTQ plus members of the artistic community as I could within the show. And Jonathan and Caden, my stage manager, who I had the opportunity to work with on the play Cock over at the People's Building.
Oh, right. Across the street. Yeah.
Just across the street.
Yes.
Caden was our stage manager for the second time we brought that show back.
Okay.
And was amazing.
Yeah.
And just brought such great energy. I'm like, I need to work with Caden again.
And has continued to be amazing with this production.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Such a positive force.
There's so much to keep track of, and you need a stage manager. A lot of folks in the audience don't know that the stage manager is really the most important part of your production, because once the show opens and the director's job is done, the stage manager continues to make sure that show runs, keeps it all ship shape.
They're the pilot of this
Everything's
crazy
got to
journey.
stay on course. And
Yes. Yep.
That's fantastic.
No, very, very fortunate. Great cast and great crew.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's next for you? Anything else coming up that you're looking forward to, theater-wise, theatrical or non-theatrical?
I'm working on a play that I wrote myself.
Okay.
It's very autobiographical.
Okay. Aren't all plays?
Well, this is true. Those of us in the theater always find a way to bring some of our personal stories. It's called Your Issue.
It's called what?
Your Issue.
Your Issue. Okay.
So when I came out, my older brother said he didn't want my issue around his kids.
I don't want your issue around my,
And so that was kind of the basis of my coming out process.
Okay.
With that. So I'm working on that.
Yeah.
And looking forward to finding out what's next on the vintage season for next year.
I'm just beginning that process of beginning the next, what the next season's going to be. We're getting closer to our 25th season, which I can't wait for. So.
That is exciting. And I've been a season ticket holder here now, I think for about 7 years.
I was going to say 6 or 7 years.
Yeah. So very fortunate. My partner and I love coming to all the shows here. You'll see his ad in the program, so he's a big supporter there too.
Yes.
So
yeah, we're so grateful. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for taking time out of your busy week of
we had a performance tonight that we're working on, so thank you, Bernie.
That's right. So Georgia McBride again opens this coming Friday, February, what is this Friday?
16th.
The 16th.
And run through March 24th.
And we run through March 24th. Fridays and Saturdays at 7:30 and Sundays at 2:30. I think that's it. I think I got it all.
Yeah.
Good job.
Come enjoy the show.
All right. Thanks for joining us.
Cheers.